whole bunch of crows, at least 3. One in that direction, one in front of us, and then the last one just answered behind me over there. And I didn't see a crow. I'm sure they're crows. I know some of you will theorize that that is the Bigfoot family surrounding me, making calls from all sides, but I don't know. It's got to be a crow. Crows. You guys know me, Scientific Gary, right? All right, you guys have asked for it. Gary and Gage going to hit the trails. It has been miserable. I'm trying not to be miserable, but the weather has been, it teased us. The other day it was like +10. We lost a foot of snow. And I thought, oh yeah, here comes spring. And then the next day it was -22 and snowing. What are you gonna do with that? Still on lockdown here. I don't know, maybe another week I think, and then they're gonna reassess. But we're at critical juncture here because even I'm going stir crazy, cabin fever. If you go back and watch videos from last March, you'll probably see the same thing happening to Gary. End of a long winter, at the end of his rope. I haven't gone anywhere or started the truck in a month. Oh, poor truck. What else? Yeah, you know, I did get out and watch a hockey game with Tom the other night. I am social distancing as much as I can, but I told him no cuddling, so he sat on one end of the couch, I sat on the other. Tom was a little bit sad, but he didn't stay that way for long because the Leafs actually won. They shut out Edmonton back-to-back games. So for all my NHL guys out there, especially Leaf fans, woo! This might be the year. You know, we say that. I've been a Leaf fan for 40 years, and we've had some of the worst, most terrible teams. And if you watch hockey, you know that our nemesis, the destroyer of Toronto, has been Boston over the last 12 years. We've had multiple games where we've had 4 or 5 goal leads going into the end of the game, you know, 4 minutes left, okay, and blow a 4-goal lead in the playoffs. This has happened multiple times. So this year, you see all the analysts, right? They've changed the odds in Vegas to now reflect Toronto as the #1 pick. And I'm like, show me Boston, show me Tampa. Play some of these teams. What they did this year is they put all the Canadian teams in one league. So Toronto is only playing Canadian teams. And really, to me, that is not giving us a true... I mean, Edmonton is amazing. Winnipeg's pretty good. Vancouver used to be, not this year. So yeah, there's a bit of stiff competition, but not like when you have a team that destroys you year after year. You want to see some regular season games against those guys to see how you're going to stack up. I will not believe, as the saying goes, in this team until we see some Boston action. Once we put Boston down once or twice, then I'll feel a little more comfortable in cheering. You know, it's so sad. You get all of us true Leaf fans, we know, right? You get that high, slow climb over the course of the season where the Leafs come out of the gate. They're just flying, and by the end of the season, you can't win a game versus the Ottawa Senators. So hockey's keeping me a little bit sane. But other than that, it's just work and the grind. The winter grind. I have not been out ice fishing once this winter. I don't know what happened there. So like the Arctic Cat, I went off trail. Come on, buddy, dig, 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 dig. What kind of rescue dog are you? Gage, get over here and dig. Dig. Good boy, good boy. Oh, come on. Yeah, so this is why we're not going anywhere right now. 4 feet of snow in the bush. And if I leave any of my trails, you're up to your waist in snow. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Let me get out of here. Oh, come on now. You gotta get back onto the hard packed trail. There we go. Okay, enough of that. I'm staying on the trail. Yeah, a little bit of video gaming, as you guys have seen. I appreciate that you guys aren't all thumbs downing them, because the 56 people that I'm making them for actually are enjoying them. And we have a little private chat, a game group that we, but hey, there have been a lot of you other guys, you know, we're getting 500 views on these things, so a lot of you other guys are enjoying it. I had a couple of people actually contact me and say, that game looks so good, I bought it. And it really is, it's a fun game. And the newest thing I'm doing to keep myself sane is watching old dad movies with my daughter. So we've started a thing where we started with a movie called The Long Kiss Goodnight, which was Samuel L. Jackson and Gina Davis. And that's an old action flick where she's like a FBI or CIA killer, and she doesn't remember who she is. She gets amnesia. That's a good flick. Well, okay, it wasn't as good as I remembered. So what my daughter and I are doing is I give my dad rating from when I watched the movie 20 years ago. How good do I think this movie was? Then I rewatch it, I give it my new rating, and then my daughter gives it a rating. And we said, you know, we're going to write these down for posterity, and in 20 years when we go back and watch these again, we'll see if our opinions have changed. So far, The Long Kiss Goodnight, I originally gave it an 8 out of 10. Then I rewatched it and I was like, 6.5. My daughter was like 3. Then we watched Predator and I gave it an 8.5. And I would still give Predator an 8.5. My daughter actually gave that one a 7. And then last night I thought, okay, let's mix it up. I told her we're going to do a bunch of Arnie movies. Well, we did True Lies. Okay, so if you don't remember that one, probably not the best one to watch with your 15-year-old. She took the blood and gore and guts of Predator, no problem. But when Arnie makes his wife do the sexy dance in in True Lies, it was a little too much. She was like, put the blanket over her head. She's like, just tell me when it's done. Jamie Lee Curtis in her underwear doing like this stripper tease for Arnie. There's a whole scene if you haven't seen True Lies. But yeah, so I gave that movie originally an 8.5. I don't know why back in the day I really liked it, or I remembered it as being really good. I'd have to bring that down probably to about a 7. There were some really crazy effects in there, but it's actually a pretty funny movie. And as far as Arnie movies go, there was less action to a degree and more funny. And my daughter was like, it's just not funny. The funny parts aren't funny. She actually gave it a 3 rating. So the next movie I have picked, what we're gonna do to bring the Arnie score back up, we're gonna do Terminator. Lots of things gonna be coming up on the channel, adventures. I wanna do a lot more camping this year. So I have the camper trailer that I can use. I have the back of the truck that I plan on throwing a futon mattress in and just sleeping right there, Gage and I. We can drive down any old logging road, 150 miles out, and just camp out for the night and do some exploring and check out new areas. I want to do a ton of that stuff. Tom and I want to do the swamp back here. We've been talking about it. It was really mild, like I say, a week ago, and Tom was like, let's go camping. And I'm like, no, it was actually raining. And I'm like, no, it's not, we got to wait just a little bit longer. Right now, actually, would probably be, feels like it's about 0, maybe -1, -2 right now. It's not bad at all right now. Wheels are turning. So I can see right here where the rabbits have been feeding. Let's see what Gage does. You can see the bark is missing. You gonna stop and check it out? Not really. No, he's going for a stick. That's all he wants. But right here is what I'm talking about. You can see where the rabbits have chewed all the bark off. Here and right there. You're not interested in rabbits, eh, buddy? You're more of a Squatch dog. Okay, go get him. Go find him. Go find a squatch. The same day I showed you guys that porcupine when we went way back on the trails, Tom found one right here on the 90-acre trail. He was just walking his dog around the loop and he sent me pictures. So unfortunately for them, they take the bark right off the whole tree, right? So it does kill a lot of the tamaracks and the pines down here along the edge of the swamp. And all the other neighbors, well, we all have pets and dogs. Fortunately, Gage has never gotten into one. Tom's new dog, Finley, she's 3 now. She's never gotten into one. All the other neighbors, though, are like shoot on sight, right? If there's a porcupine anywhere in the yard, or it's hard to blame them because of the damage they do to the trees and that. Personally, I don't like to shoot anything unless I'm going to eat it. Now, my grandfather was a trapper. He had a trap line, and I mean, they grew up on the farm, dirt poor out in the bush, and he told me when I was a kid, he said, you know, if the choice ever comes down, boy, and it's beaver or porcupine, take the porcupine. And you can take his word for that he was speaking the truth. Yeah, so this tree here, actually, it's funny, we're talking about porcupines and I just happened to come around the bend. You can see what they've done to that poor tamarack right there. They strip all of the bark off. We've looked at that one before, so that tree's probably not gonna make it. Yeah, this is the little swamp I like to come out into and just set up and watch the night stars because it's not too far from the house. Maybe a mile. Yeah, I've definitely felt cabin fever and winter anxiety creeping in lately. So I've started the spring workout routine. I dusted off the treadmill and used that the other day. It was too cold to go out and go for a run. So I've also, to go with that, started running my calorie counting app. Time to get serious, I guess. And then the wife ordered pizza for dinner last night. 3 days into my, I can't win. Well, I did win. I had 2 pieces of pizza and that's it. I'm not having any today. The kids will finish that. So it's back to rice and beans for this guy. No, I actually eat pretty good. The app counter helps you, not only keep track of your calories, that in tandem with the scale is the only way to do it. I find over the course of 6 months, after the fall going into winter, your proportions get larger and larger every day. So when you have lunch, you add that extra tablespoon of chili or that, one more cracker, one more, and then by, come January, February, your meals are a third bigger than they were in the fall, and you go, oh man, I gotta lose 10 or 13 pounds. It happens every year. So I actually got on the scale last night, and it's not as bad as I thought. If I could lose 10 pounds, I'd be happy. I'd back in my squash killing form. So look out, Tim, if that happens. Well, we gotta get the wide open up again. Tim and I haven't played squash. Geez, it's gonna be like starting over again. We got to play from October till almost the end of December before they shut down the Y. And it's been rough since then because I really haven't done any exercise other than going for walks with you guys. So thank you guys for that. That's keeping me kind of in shape, kind of sane. Poop. There's a surprise. He found poop. Didn't eat it though. I'm sure a lot of you are like me, and when it comes to doing a job, I kind of become micro-focused, right? Obsessive compulsive maybe is a term. For example, cleaning the garage, right? It's a 12-hour job. I know that. I do it every year. You got to sweep out the garage twice, then you got to dust every inch of the garage because in the winter bringing the vehicles in brings all that road salt and crap, and it's just a huge job, and you got to move every piece of equipment and every tool you got to move and wipe down, and I'm obsessive. I cannot take that job and do it, 2 hours a day for a week and a half, say, because it's always on my mind. It's constantly, I got that to do. It's always hindering my mental forward progress, so I will obsess and kill myself and do a 14-hour day in the garage until the job is done. And then I sit there and have a beer and go, I take it all in, right? That sense of satisfaction, of accomplishment. I did something. So, and I've always been like that, right? The problem with that kind of personality is you get burnt out after a while, right? You go, 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 you don't know when to stop, and then you kind of get burnt out. And it can be on anything, right? So whether it's actual work or whether it's stuff you're doing at home or projects, even art projects. I can't paint the house anymore. I can't do walls in the house. I'm so obsessive with, there's a streak here, there's a bump here, there's a crack here, my wife refuses, A, to work with me, and B, I just know that it becomes such a problem. 4 coats later, I'm still not happy with the job, so that's kind of an insight into this guy's head, how I work. But I've always been like that, and it's not a bad thing, right? If you want to be the person who gets ahead in life, you kind of need to have some of that drive, some of that, don't procrastinate, don't put things off, and never settle, right? You don't settle for anything other than the best. Speaking of the best, who's got the best dog ever? Come here, buddy. Come here. Hey, you're not the best dog if you don't listen. Come here, Gage. Oh. I told you don't go off the trail, it's deep. So he's sinking right up to his nose. You can imagine, it'll be over my waist deep in there. Come on, buddy, let's go. Come on. Good boy. That guy said best dog ever. Don't tell my last dog I said that. Hunter, I miss you, buddy, wherever you are. In the happy hunting grounds. I love you too. Just a crow, I guess. Almost sounded like a conversation at first, but yeah, a crow. So I'm gonna head over to Tom's tonight. One more Leaf Edmonton game. So we took the first 2, like I said, we shut them out, both games. So I'm sure they're gonna come out firing tonight. And I'm looking forward to just going over to Tom's and having a snuggle and a beer and watching the game. Oh, I can't have a beer, I'm on a diet, damn it. Life's too short. Low calorie beer, huh? I do have some in the garage. Now to force myself to drink one, Hey! No. Now he's eating the poop. Worst dog ever! Yeah, we're at that point in winter where you're so close to spring, you have this huge list of things you gotta do and you wanna do, clean the garage, change the oil in all your equipment, snow blowers, 4-wheelers, snow machines, trim the beard, shave the boys, or is it shave the beard, trim the... Either way, things to do, and we're just not there yet. It's gonna be another hard month of warm one day, cold the next. Then that leads to a whole season of flooding and wet, conditions out in the bush. So the best thing is there's no bugs, right? So Tom and I will get out camping at some point here in the spring coming up. To hell with it. You know what? We're walking the trails. We're listening to sounds. We're looking for stuff. I'm going to put this under the Bigfoot moniker. I've been looking for tracks the whole way. We've been looking for strange anomalies. Haven't seen anything. So, I do take a bit of flack from people. Oh, this is just clickbait. No, you have to put it in context, right? We've done a whole series. I've spent the last year, over a year, making videos, looking, actually truly investigating and looking. Does it surprise me that we haven't captured anything? No, because we're just like the thousands of other people out there who haven't. I would love more than anything to be that guy that gets the nice clear 4K drone footage of one running across the swamp. And we're putting in the hours and time, so maybe it's going to happen. But it won't bother me if it doesn't, because it's all about the journey there. And I say it, and I honestly say that and believe it, because my grandfather used to tell us that, you know, when we were kids. My other grandfather would always take us fishing when we were kids, and he would say, you know, he would just sit there. He wouldn't even pull up lines, right? He'd let the kids do all the fishing. He'd sit there and have his tea by the fire. And his enjoyment for the day wasn't going fishing and catching a new record-sized brook trout, you know, beating his old record or catching 10 more than he did before, which is what it was for us kids, right? Oh, I got the biggest one, and I got bragging rights. And grandfather would always just sit by the fire, drink his tea, and for him it was the journey, the nice ride in on the snow machine, cutting the wood, building the fire, making the tea, and then sitting there watching the grandkids fish and do the things that he had done 50, 60 years before, you know, with his parents and grandparents. And the older I get, the more I realize that it is about the journey, right? I don't have to have a result to say that this hasn't been a waste of my time the last year and a half. I've had more fun, more adventures with you guys. And I would, you know, I would do it all over in a heartbeat, pretty much the same way we have. I don't think I would change too much. I use the technology at my disposal. I don't spend a ton of money that, you know, on equipment that I don't think is going to help us get anything. I think we've got the right area, we've got the right techniques. It's either going to happen or it isn't. This thing is real or it isn't. And all the other strangeness that we catch is just eye-opening, mind-opening, right? So it's about the journey, remember that. I want you guys to hang in there. I hope you're not on lockdown still where you are. I know a lot of you are, but hopefully the end is in sight. Like I say, needles are coming out here now, so stick it in my arm, let's get on with this. I hope you guys are surviving as best you can. I am. I'll catch you guys in the next adventure. Thanks for joining me.